Welcome to tonight's episode on the FPP. We're going to be discussing paranormal experiences, or perhaps maybe the lack thereof, and our belief in whether they exist or not. Would anyone like to go first? I'll turn off the lights and grab the flashlight. Maybe that's not necessary.
Well,
you've got some
I got some.
real-world ghost stories.
I've had two personal experiences that I haven't been able to explain, but I don't know if it's like... yeah, it's not something I'd be 100% on. Before I go into those two, though, there's actually... supposedly at my work, there's supposed to be a ghost that roams around, and I used to work on like afternoon, evening shift. And yeah, there's supposedly someone died there to like a forklift incident like how many years ago, and now like the forklifters on the Arvo shift were able to like feel its presence still around, and it seemed to be a common thing. They actually brought in like those ghost hunting dudes like once and shit. I wasn't there for that event, but supposedly they were able to communicate with it and shit. But yeah, I literally haven't had any experiences with this particular ghost. I mean, there was one time where I offered to go turn off all the lights all the way in like Bay 6, where it usually hangs out at midnight when we're finishing our work. And yeah, I turned off all the lights and I just sat down in the middle of this warehouse and just waited, and I got nothing. I called out to it, and I couldn't hear, I couldn't see, I couldn't feel anything. I mean, it's not that I'm skeptical. I really want to believe in the paranormal, but this particular being chose not to talk to me. I mean, yeah, oh, hello there. That was not some paranormal activity just there. That was just the family dog creeping in.
Well, hold on, you had ghost hunters at work?
Well, I don't know if that's what they were legitimately called, but those were the people that go around like obviously like looking for ghosts and you know like. Use all the equipment and stuff to track it down and talk to it. Supposedly it wasn't the only ghost that was there. There was like another one that kept like wouldn't leave him alone. It literally they were trying to find this particular ghost of this guy who died, but they kept like running into this other one or something. That's all I heard. I wasn't there.
Whoa.
I wasn't there. But yeah, I personally haven't felt any experiences. I know like people have come up to me because supposedly I look a lot like this guy who died. So like,
who talks to people like that?
I don't know, but like someone would come up to me and said, "Hey, were you out in Bay 5 and 6 like just before?" I said no. It's like, "Oh, I thought I saw you out there just a few minutes ago." So like,
Those people just messing with you.
They might be, but these are like very polite, older, nice ladies. Like it just doesn't seem like in their nature to troll me like that. Right. But yeah, no, they genuinely like believe it to be real. They've talked about like shadows passing over them and shit like that.
Yeah, they need stronger glasses.
Yeah, I haven't experienced anything with this particular ghost, but I have had two strange kind of experiences. Like one was back in year 10. We were doing like this PE class, but it was like not like actual prac. It was like a theory class, like health and fitness kind of theory-based stuff. And I was just sort of just sitting there, just chilling, and we're talking about fucking some teacher was preaching something, and the teacher thought I literally just sort of bent down to like pick up a pen that I dropped. But all I remember is that I fell. I didn't fall. I sort of leaned over, and I just remember waking up, feeling like I had fallen asleep in class, and I was like, "Oh shit, I'm getting in trouble. I fell asleep, and and whatever." And the teacher just like looked at me and said I was all pale and stuff, and had to go see the nurse and shit. And my friend said that I just sort of like keeled over, and that I was like shaking, and they had no idea what was wrong with me or anything. Some kind of seizure. But what I do remember is when I woke up, I had this splitting headache right through the center of my head, and there were all these flashing images in my head, like of all sorts of things, landscapes and people and stuff. And there was like this one shadowy sort of figure with like just the outline of the figure had like this sort of like curly sort of hair. At least that's what it looked like from my angle, like he was looking down on me. And that's something I was never able to explain. I went and got blood tests. They said they're not sure what was wrong with me. They just sort of said come back in a couple months and we'll do another one. And I said no thanks. I hate blood tests and shit. But yeah, that was an experience that I could never really explain or anyone else.
It sounds like a scene out of a movie, like flashing images and all that stuff.
Yeah, literally, I was waking up with a splitting head. And literally, all I thought was, "Oh God, I've fallen asleep in class. I'm gonna get in so much trouble." Like, it felt like that much time had passed, but literally, it was just like a second. The teacher thought I literally just leant down to pick up my pen.
Yeah.
But yeah, my friend was sitting next to me, like Josh was there. He was sitting next to me. He said I was like shaking and stuff. That was one. The other one, I don't even know if it was a dream or not, but like all I remember is I was sitting at my digital piano with like my headphones on, and I was playing. When I stopped, there's just like this static, right? And I couldn't hear anything but the static. It was really quiet, just static. And all I started hearing was singing, like, within the static. And it just sort of became clearer and clearer and louder and louder. And it was like this it just sounded of a young girl singing. I couldn't make out the words. I don't even remember what the words were. But once the words sort of became, like, coherent, I could understand. I don't know what the words were, but they were very dark. Like, very, very sinister. I don't know. It just sort of, it gave me the shakes within this static that I was hearing. I wasn't playing anything on the piano, I was just sitting there. And all I remember is just turning around, and there was just this girl just like standing there with like a table in front of her, with like something was on the table, and she was literally just singing. And then all I remember
at your house, and you turned around and you saw the girl.
Yeah, and then all I remember is that like this red like flashing, burning in my head, and then like, and I don't remember anything else. Like I don't even know if it was real, or if it was a dream, or whatever. Like it's just something I remember. I don't remember how old I was at the time. It was so bizarre, so weird, and I was never able to explain that either. I don't know. It's just so random.
It's pretty freaky.
But it actually it legitimately it legitimately hurt my head. That's all I remember is the burning in my head, and I just don't remember what it was.
You're trying to scare me.
Jeez.
You really scared me. I mean, this is like...
It scares myself just thinking about it. But, like, it's weird because I've been on, like, a Year 9 camp to Tasmania, and we did this ghost tour thing at night. And, like, they were talking about so-and-so who died here. People have said they've seen things here. And I'm looking at these things, and I'm just like, give me something. Give me anything. I'll take anything. And I'm just imagining what I might have been seeing in my head. But nothing. Like, I literally don't experience anything.
If you want it to happen, it's not going to.
Yeah, I suppose. Like, I swear I can hear things that nobody else has heard. Like, did you hear that? No. It could be sounds, could be speaking, could be talking, but maybe it's just the voices in my head. But yeah, like, those are the two major things that I can recall that I've just never been able to explain or not, and how real they sort of felt.
That's
pretty crazy.
Freaky.
I mean, I think I've had sleep paralysis once, where you're sort of like, you're awake in your bed, but you can't move, or you feel like you can't move.
I've never had that.
Had that.
I don't remember much of it. All I just remember is just literally not being able to move. I didn't feel scared or anything. I don't know. Maybe some kind of, maybe it was some kind of like dream or something, but I don't know.
No, I've definitely had that.
The sleep paralysis?
Like woke up and couldn't breathe. Like none of me was moving, and I like couldn't like open my mouth or like get my lungs to start working.
Oh fuck.
Jeez.
Yeah.
And you would and then what happened? I mean, after you can't breathe, and then what just passes, or how's it go?
It was like there was this barrier. Like I couldn't open my eyes either, but I was awake. I was conscious. Like I knew I was in bed. I knew where I was. I just like couldn't move. Like my body just sort of stopped, and then I managed to push out of it and was just like.
Almost got suffocated.
Yeah.
I can just imagine like in a movie scene, and it's like a zoom up on your face, and you're like, whoa, and just like pull up.
Yeah.
Definitely put that into the scene of a movie as well.
Mm-hmm.
And what about you? Have you ever experienced anything weird or unexplainable?
I think you really knocked it out of the park.
Yeah.
I mean, like, whoa, my stories are probably okay. I think probably the scariest thing was, I was at my friend's place and we were watching The Ring.
Oh no.
Right, so mind you, I don't like horror movies because
neither do I.
I get scared pretty easily, but especially jump scares and stuff. So we watched like pretty much the whole movie, and then I was like, wow, that's pretty scary, I guess. I guess.
It's always after the fact.
Got home, right? And on YouTube, if a video didn't work, usually it would just be
just a fuzzy screen.
It used to be just a black one,
right?
Mm.
That says error or something, whatever.
Yeah.
Right? And on that particular day, right, they changed it.
Nope.
Right? To that fuzzy thing, right?
No.
And before that, it was just black screen, right?
Yeah.
And it just happened to be on that day I watched The Ring. Right? Then they changed it to that fuzzy thing.
No.
And it scared the bejesus out of me.
Oh, fuck.
You know, you get home, it's like, let's watch some YouTube videos. And it doesn't work. And it's just fuzzy. I'm like,
oh, dude.
Pack your bags, you're out of here.
That's some pretty bad luck, bro. Like, fucking hell. Man. How unlucky you got to be for that? Fuck.
That's pretty scary.
How long did it take you to learn that it was literally like they just changed it on that day?
I don't know. I Google it. I don't remember if I figured it out or not.
On that night, or you?
But then after the next couple of days, alright, no, it's normal.
Okay.
But it's still bloody scary.
Yeah, I mean, fucking can imagine, bro.
You know, this is really pretty late at night, so I mean.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
So are you like a believer in paranormal experiences that people have? Or are you skeptical, or do you want to believe?
I'm
or
pretty damn skeptical.
pretty
I
damn
mean,
skeptical?
Personally, in my life at least, and my experiences, I haven't really had anything happen to me that really, concreted any beliefs at all. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm skeptical, but I'm also scared of it, if that makes sense. I'm kind of like, nah.
The
but
cautious nature.
When it's, it's dark and I'm alone at home, I'm like, like...
I don't know. I kind of wish it wasn't real, because like I wouldn't want to be dead and just like floating around annoying people. Like it just seems like a very boring way to spend your eternity. I'd rather
like
go
it'd be
into
fun.
I think I'd rather go into a reincarnation
no one would see
cycle
you.
or
Oh,
something.
no, that's
you
true,
know?
yeah.
I mean, unless there's literally nothing after death.
I would,
or
prefer to be a
something.
ghost than nothing.
Yeah.
Really? I'm just gonna be gone. That's it.
I don't even know. I hadn't really thought
wanna-
that
I'm
deeply about
curious,
it.
I
but-
Would you
wanna
really
see
want to
you-
become a ghost and just haunt people?
Yeah, because then you're like, nothing's going to
For
hurt you anymore. You have
eternity.
nothing to fear. And you get to just watch the world.
Yeah, but you can't do
you could,
anything
like,
to it. But you can't affect it, right?
Maybe you get really powerful and turn into a poltergeist.
Ooh.
Freak people out. I would just love just freaking people out.
How much time have you spent on this theory? Ugh.
I mean, she'll look the same, right? I mean, you'll be the same. It's just...
More translucently pale.
And then it's, oh, hi, Becky. It's like the same thing.
How's it going? I mean, I never really thought about how deeply about it, but like in terms of the other options of what comes after death, I mean, I would sort of just hate to be just fucking roaming around doing nothing. You'd get bored of it pretty fucking quick, especially if either you couldn't interact with the environment in any way or shape or form, or maybe in the case that you can, you could probably have fun with it for a while or for an eternity.
bored.
I wouldn't want like a
But-
Beetlejuice style where you're like stuck in this one place. Like if I was stuck in this one
Sort of
house.
shackled to the location
like,
of your death or something.
Nah.
I think actually it wouldn't be too bad if you could just interact with other ghosts.
Mhm.
So basically,
Yeah,
it's like a
so
next
it's like
level,
Sixth
like
sense. Yeah.
next plane.
But then
Sixth
like,
sense.
yeah.
Yeah, so it's just
That'd
like,
be cool.
I don't know,
yeah,
like,
it's just like this.
There's this whole, like,
world,
society
except,
of
like, yeah, the
ghosts.
next one.
it's weird.
Okay,
Like,
that wouldn't be too bad.
Like my mum is a firm believer that her dad still like watches over and takes care of her, and not takes care of her, she takes care of us, the kids. Because like, I don't know, we were in like a car accident once, and you know, she was like all bruised and everything, and I didn't have any injuries at all. Like, I didn't even have whiplash, and she feels like that her father took care of me in the car crash, and it's just like, okay. I mean, I couldn't really consider whether it was necessarily the case or not, but she feels like that he's always around and taking care of her or taking care of us and just being a helpful influence or something. I don't know.
I don't know. I think that's just to comfort themselves with those ideas, really.
Yeah.
But
It's not something I necessarily do believe in 100% or not, but yeah, it's just it is weird what some people do say about their personal experiences and stories, but it's just so hard to get behind when you just can't find that proof that you're looking for. Like even I'm still skeptical about the two experiences that I gave you earlier.
Yeah.
I still don't even know what they were. Like what was I, just like dehydrated on the day on the PA class, and I literally just sort of like
just became delirious.
yeah, some delirious seizure
Yeah.
or some shit, or was there something to it? Or I don't know. It's really hard to be
I
sure.
think you have to like think about people's experiences and like just kind of put a grain of salt on it.
Yeah.
What's the saying?
Oh, take it with a grain of salt.
That's
Take it with a grain of
Yeah.
salt. Jeez. Okay. Anyway.
I think brains can do interesting
Yeah,
things.
because
They can.
people's perceptions are just can be very wrong. I mean, as in like
Your interpretation of reality and
yeah,
things like that.
yeah, it's untrustworthy.
Tree branches moving in the wind, and you think it's a shadow
Yeah.
sort of passing by or something.
There's even like all these studies like about witnesses
Hmm.
that are like reporting on something
Yeah,
they
they
witnessed,
get
and
all
it
the
like
stuff wrong,
it's like what they saw is skewed. Like it's not
Yeah.
actually what happened. It's just like
Even,
they're
like-
remembering something that is incorrect.
Sometimes
Yeah,
even
yeah,
like
exactly.
moments after the incident, they've already got their own interpretation that's a different recount to anybody else within the
Yeah.
vicinity.
Man,
It's-
I'm really bad at remembering details. You know, there was one time I got someone tried to mug me,
Oh,
God.
and I went to the police station. I couldn't describe the guy properly. I was like, "What does he look like?" I don't know.
I don't know, just a regular looking dude. I mean,
I'm serious. It's like, yeah.
to be honest, I mean, I've seen those things like movies and stuff. What did he look like? It's like, how the fuck do you want me to explain? Oh, the bridge of his nose was like 2 inches higher than the. I mean, I don't know how you would be able to describe someone's facial structure.
Yeah,
Like you could
they're
spot him in a
mugging you
lineup,
and
but
you're
I mean, like,
Even in a lineup, I'm like, seriously, if they like lined up a whole bunch of people that looked vaguely similar, I probably couldn't tell.
In that moment of panic as well, how can you like be expected to take in any detail other
Yeah.
than like, holy shit, I'm being mugged?
Yeah.
You know what I did? I mean, the guy. Okay, I was sitting after school at the train station, waiting to be picked up, and then some guy came up to me. He's like, "Can I have your phone?" I thought it was just like for a call or something. I was like, "What?" And he's like, "Give me your phone, or else I'll hurt you." I was like, "What did I say? What did I say? I don't know. I said something stupid."
Okay.
And then he's like, all right. And then I think my mum pulled around and like scared him off. And then I got my headphones caught in his like bag or something. And he's like trying to get away.
What the fuck? It's like the weapon of confusion, and it's just.
And he's
like,
like,
awkward
oh shit.
mugging.
And he's like tangled and.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I mean.
Close call, I suppose.
Oh yeah, I said, are you serious? And he didn't know how to take it. So.
Was he just not sure what he was doing either?
Because I was sitting down, and you probably see, oh, it's some little Asian guy, right? Then I stand up and taller than him. And then and I'm like, are you serious? And he's like,
It's just fucking run. Well,
anyway, that's my mugging story.
sorry, mate. It's my first time mugging someone. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that happened.
Yeah. I've never actually witnessed a crime in my entire life. I have never actually witnessed someone shoplifting or breaking into someone's house or committing any crime that you could name. I've never actually seen an instance of crime ever.
Really? Like nothing?
Yeah,
No.
I don't think I have either.
It gives me a very naive
Yeah.
look on society and the people as a whole, but I've literally never viewed a single incident of any nature. It's weird. Because obviously people, recently there's fucking drive-bys around Hampton Park and stuff, and that's where I grew up, but I fucking never saw any of it. I never really heard about any of it. It's just, I don't know. It's just an interesting thing to throw in there because so many people talk about how they've been part of something or they've seen something. It's just nope, not me.
There's one time I saw, this is not to do with crime, but I saw this car crash. It was brutal.
Ooh.
I was on a bus on the way home, and someone had a car crash with the pole or something, right? And the car was torn in half.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
fuck.
You could see all the seats and everything because the whole side of the car was just gone,
Wow.
right?
fucking-
And then there was a dude, like a dead guy, lying on the ground,
Nope.
right?
Nope.
And someone had just put a cloth over his face,
Shit.
and the guy was dead.
Oh fuck! So you've actually seen fucking death, I
Yeah.
suppose. Did you
That's
actually see the
crazy.
wh occur?
No.
You
I
saw
saw
the
the
aftermath.
aftermath, right? So I saw there was a dead guy on the ground, and the car just split
Before
in
it
two.
had been
How old
dealt
were you?
with.
This was in high school.
Okay.
And
That's still
It's
pretty
crazy.
fucking brutal. Though.
It's
That-
crazy.
yeah.
Josh has worked at a hospital and stuff, and he's moved around, cadavers and stuff like that. And it's just you sort of. He says you just sort of, you got a job to do, so you sort of just get past it. It's yeah, I've never actually seen a corpse or anything else. It's a bit of a reality check, and it's it's something I've never witnessed. I don't think many people have, I suppose. But
My
yeah.
med students just talk casually about, oh, yeah, we were doing cadavers today. And I was like, oh, what's that? And they're like, oh, just dead bodies. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh, that's lovely.
nice.
That's charming, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just I don't know. It's just
Yeah, just straight to business. They got a job to do.
Honestly, I mean, I've seen dead people. It wasn't as crazy as I thought it would be. People, my impression was people seeing dead people just on the ground and stuff to freak out and cry and everything.
I don't know how I would react, but it's just I've never actually seen one. It's a bit of a reality check, and it's just something I've never had.
Yeah.
Not saying I'm naive to the thought of death,
Yeah.
but I mean, it's just an interesting thing. I actually get the feeling that not many people have actually seen,
Yeah.
death,
I was just
in the face, as it were.
I was like, wow, that's crazy.
Mm.
And that was my reaction.
That fucking happened.
I mean, I don't know, but yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just pretty indifferent to everything, but
I don't know. I don't know how I would react either. I mean, I don't think I would freak out. I don't think I'd vomit. I mean, even if there was blood and stuff, I probably don't even know how I'd respond. I think I'm just as disconnected as anyone else.
well, that got serious.
Yes,
Real
it
fast.
certainly got a bit dark down there, didn't it?
Paranormal straight into death.
Yeah. Jeez. Do you guys have any phobias?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
I have a lot of phobias. No, I'm claustrophobic and agoraphobic. which seems like a contradiction, but they kind of work
What's
together.
agoraphobia?
Agoraphobia is the fear of being trapped or not being able to get away.
Okay.
So some people get it
Okay.
in open spaces where they can't get home. Some people get it in crowds.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I tend to get it in claustrophobic situations, but claustrophobia isn't always what's happening. Sometimes it's agoraphobia.
Wow.
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So-
Brutal combination of both of them put together.
Yeah.
So your
Safe to
worst
say,
nightmare
plane rides are not pleasant for me.
is okay. So
But-
if a elevator breaks down,
I'm not good in that situation.
No.
It happened to me a few weeks ago. I was on my way to one of my classes.
Oh,
It was like
no.
this old elevator, and it broke, and I was in there for like half an hour with my friend, and I ended up just in the corner, just like, don't talk to me, I just need to breathe.
oh man.
Because,
Okay.
yeah, I'm just not good in those situations. Like, I've always been uncomfortable in elevators.
Right. Okay. Take the stairs.
I was gonna say,
Good
it's like-
exercise.
Yeah,
It's like-
six floors up, I was actually taking the stairs for like
Okay.
3 weeks
It's,
after.
it's like a nightmare experience that you obviously are rare to come across, and yet you still ran into one, and not
Yeah.
even that long ago. Fucking hell.
Yeah.
The only thing I could call a legitimate phobia is the arachnophobia, is spiders.
Mm.
It's like the only thing that I cannot deal with. As in, they call it an irrational like response to it,
Yeah.
and people can describe what it is that they don't like about it or whatever, but literally it's just a negative. It just completely brings you down, and you just want to distance yourself from it. It's
Yeah.
so
It's more
unexplainable.
than just a fear of it.
Yeah, I don't
Because
know.
I can safely say
It's-
I do not like any bugs of any kind.
Like,
but
I
I
can-
wouldn't call it a
It's
phobia.
like a
'cause I'm
rational
like-
fear as opposed
Yeah,
to irrational.
I'm like, it's rational. I don't want them touching me. Spiders bite. I can
Yeah.
like rationalize that. I can't rationalize not liking being in a crowd.
It's like, I hate crowds, and I get, you know, when like you see like the open ocean or something,
yeah.
and I do get a terrified feeling of like looking into
Like,
the
a lot of
abyss.
people have that.
But I don't know if it's like legit a phobia, so I don't. I only
That's just
consider
rational
I just consider the
masturbation.
arachnophobia as legit. Like when I see the ocean,
Yeah.
I just imagine that there's some great fucking massive creature that lives in it because it's so
Dude.
fucking vast. That I look at the open ocean from the beach and I just imagine this fucking thing just coming out of the fucking ocean because it's so huge. As in like,
That
just like
sounds awesome.
something, but it's terrifying if you're out there
Yeah.
imagining that
Tiny
there's
boat,
probably this
like-
gigantic
No,
thing down
I mean,
there.
you this giant monster and you're surfing on the top of it. I mean, you're like, yeah.
Sure.
But the spider one is definitely real. I'm definitely a lot better
Yeah.
at dealing with it nowadays. Like smaller ones don't bother me as much, but it's the initial reaction, and it's the hair standing on the back of your, and it's just this negative
Everything kinda
aura.
shuts down.
Yeah, it just really brings you down, and it just puts you
Right.
in this really bad disposition, and it's. I'm better at dealing with it nowadays, but like yeah, I still have a lot of trouble when it comes to dealing with like a lot larger ones.
Yeah. For me, I don't think I have any irrational fears, like phobias, really. I don't like cockroaches, but I think that's pretty rational.
I hate cockroaches.
Like, they
Like-
just... I mean, I have a really strong dislike for them. I mean...
the crunch when you squish them. I like.
Oh no!
Anytime I see a cockroach,
Uh.
I literally have to go get someone else to deal with it. I just can't.
So I can
can't even touch it.
squash them, no worries. But the thing is, because they're so fast and like creepy and have so many legs, and
Yeah.
and they have wings for some reason, but they never use them. Like, I
Oh
don't,
God.
like, why?
Wow, no, actually,
I don't know. They're a bit freaky for me, but and I don't like heights either. But that's I think pretty reasonable.
I think a lot of people don't like heights.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
pretty-
like-
it's
I
pretty
mean, like,
understandable.
Not just like I mean like really high heights, like off the top of buildings kind of heights freaks me out
That's-
a little bit.
That's pretty
Pretty
fucking
solid.
understandable.
That's pretty reasonable,
I
right?
think I
I mean-
like heights, but even those situations, I'm like, oh, that's a bit high.
I'm like, yeah, I better not do anything stupid while I'm up here. Like that, you know.
Maybe because I feel like I'm really heavy for some reason. I'm like more likely to step on something and break it.
Oh.
I don't know. That kind of scares me a bit. But
Okay. I'm not too. I can't really empathize with the cockroach one. I think I just see it as another insect, which obviously I find them annoying in general, and I tend to just deal with them accordingly.
oddly enough, like they're incredibly clean insects. But like
Really?
they like clean themselves really well.
I thought they were like infested.
Yeah, because I mean, people get that impression, right? And yeah, they kind of feel like they're all icky and like diseased. Apparently, quite clean.
Oh.
So
It makes you feel better.
Does that make you
Yeah,
feel better?
I saw there was one in like a bit of Tupperware that we had at home. It was just
Yeah.
like there were two bits of Tupperware, one inside the other, and there was
Yeah.
a cockroach in between them. And I was like, deep cleanse the Tupperware. Like I can't use
You know,
it.
there was one time I can't remember where I was, but I think I was at some desk or something, and I felt something crawling on my leg.
No.
Right. It was a cockroach. Right?
No.
I like jumped up and hit my head on the ceiling. Like for real. Like,
Fuck.
and the thing is, like, after I jumped up, I couldn't find it.
Yeah, that's the way. See, like, I'm just
Right.
comparing that to my arachnophobia and having the same reaction, and
One
it's
minute
just
it's
like
there, you turn
the
back
worst
and
thing
it's
is
gone.
losing it because then you can't
Totally.
sleep. Literally, if it's in your bedroom and you fucking lose it, you're not going to sleep.
Yeah.
Everything's done. And if you deal with the one, you're just like, where there's one,
There's
you
more.
know, there's you just fucking.
Yeah.
And when
That
people
was
give
a
you
fat one.
when people give you the stats, like, oh, you know, whenever you sleep, you're always within like how many fucking meters of another like spider within your lifetime or something.
And
They
they're
give
like,
you- they
people
give you
have-
all those fucking stats.
On average, people eat like 3 or something spiders in their sleep or whatever in their lifetime. Something like that.
They give you those fucking stats and shit, and I've heard like debunks to that particular one,
Yeah.
which makes me feel better, and don't
Okay.
convince me otherwise.
All right.
But like, but yeah, the ones they give you like it's just like it does your head in, and it's just like yeah, and it's such a hard thing, phobias, because there's a lady at my work who actually suffers from the phobia of birds.
Yeah.
Because
Oh.
I love birds.
Same.
The thing is that she terrified of birds, even though they have absolutely no form of harm. I mean, magpies can like swoop you and stuff, but like, you know, at least the
That's why you
unknown
have to know.
unknown of the venomous of spiders is enough to keep me at a huge distance for a rational reason. Whereas birds is just, well, maybe they could have a
Swoops you.
disease or something, but
Punch it.
it's like, yeah, there was like literally
you,
like
you gotta have your lance handy.
it's like once there was like, you know, there's like a just I can't remember which kind of bird it was. It was just like flying between like the rafters and shit, and she literally would not go to that side of the warehouse.
Yeah.
And I had to keep an eye on it for her, so I knew where it was. And because there's three particular birds like outside where we eat lunch.
Yeah.
Right. 2 of them are like just pigeons, but they've actually been coming back for so long. They literally like they depend on us to feed them. Like they actually come
Stop
back.
eating them.
Right, but there's also like a little blackbird with like an orange beak that also comes by as well. It jumps up on like the bench and everything, and you give it food. And It's literally like it's basically like a pet at work. But like yeah, the lady is like terrified to come out, and it's like I feed the bird, but then when she does come out, I have to get the fuck away.
Is she scared of having her eyes plucked out or something?
No, she just has the same
Irrational.
reaction like that I have to arachnophobia, and the problem is that people like they laugh about it and they
Yeah.
laugh and joke about it, but I know how she feels because like there's another guy at my work who also suffers from arachnophobia, and someone actually baited him into a huntsman once, and I was just like, oh my fucking god, these people are horrible, because I knew exactly how he felt, and I know exactly how she feels as well, because I just imagine what a spider with wings is like, and I'm just like, no fucking way.
No.
And it's just like
Yeah.
I can empathize with that to such a strong degree, and I find it very hard. I mean, I don't feel as bad being a sufferer of arachnophobia because people at least understand it to some degree. I mean, even if some people are horrible human beings. But yeah, the birds one, I just feel so bad for because people don't seem to respect or understand what phobia really is. I don't know, I just feel really bad for those kinds of people because there are other phobias that seem really irrational and silly
Yeah.
as well, but they are definitely very real.
Like the fear of getting peanut butter stuck on the top of your mouth.
Oh, yeah.
I've heard of that one.
There's a what's the I don't know.
Oh
There's
god,
some word for it.
who knows what the big long word is for it? But
Yeah.
yeah, there's a lot of silly phobias out there, you could say. But
When
like,
I was younger, I had this thing where I couldn't walk on cracks. Yeah, you know.
Step on a crack.
so when
on
you're
a
like
crack.
walking to school, you're always making sure you don't step on the cracks. You
Yeah,
walk,
like you know in the pavements.
Yeah.
I would skip the cracks.
I didn't do it for any
Like a
particular.
crazy person.
I didn't.
I did it because it was a game.
Yeah, that's why I just did it for a game.
I don't know. I felt compelled to do it, but you know, obviously,
bit of an
I
OCD
could've-
thing.
Yeah, kind of OCD kind of thing.
I sort of did it maybe for half and half. Bit of fun,
Yeah.
bit of compulsion to do it,
Bit of like, just in case I'm being
Just in
careful.
just in
And
case.
because it felt uneven to step on too many cracks. And if one foot had more cracks than the other one,
Yeah, that's a bit more. That's a bit more OCD.
I kind of know where you're
You
coming
know what I
from
mean?
with that.
That's a bit more OCD than how I felt, but okay.
Like, I don't know. I mean, yeah, when I was a kid, I was like a perfectionist.
Yeah.
I wanted everything really neat.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I mean,
Go get even
now I'm
with
just
this.
kind of messy. But I mean, that's another thing.
You sort of get the laziness
Yeah,
overtakes
I
the.
kind of
the-
like figured out one day. I was like, yeah, some things don't matter. Like,
you can't
That's
take care of
cracks.
everything.
yeah, it's like, yeah, don't give a shit about certain things, and that's yeah. And then I think I probably took it too far. Don't give a shit about everything.
But you know, like you just catapult yourself from one end to the other.
Exactly. A little too far, but anyway, yeah,
That's a thing.
that is a thing.
I don't really know if I suffer from like an OCD of any kind. I actually don't even know what it feels like. I know I do certain meticulous things, but I don't know if I do it because I want to do them or because I feel compelled to do them. I don't know. It's not something I can feel the empathy
Human
for.
condition.
Yeah, maybe it is the human condition. I don't know. It's another condition that I'm just not sure if I have or don't have. I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
I don't really have any examples either.
Right. Anything else to add to that?
No, I think that pretty much wraps up today's discussion.
All right. Thanks for listening to another episode of the Fat Potato Podcast.
We'll see you next time.